Hola, Rabe, ¿cómo estás? Bienvenido a los Estados Unidos. That's what every immigrant says when they cross the Rio Grande coming into Mexico, from Mexico to Texas. They're there for a promised land and more opportunity, right?
And this has been true of the history of immigration, not just in the United States, but in the known universe. When we look at patterns of immigration, people who leave go to look for what you just said, better opportunities. And you're not looking for something better if what you already have is better. So you don't find certain skilled and highly specialized people leaving their country if they have a successful business, if they're being hired, and if they have jobs. Now, we have seen in some countries professionals leave because of the government, because of persecution. But put that aside, all of us who came to America, our families left wherever they left because there was no hope. Things weren't good. And when you come to the new country, no one's going to put you in the highest paying jobs in the highest rank. You start with unskilled labor that the indigenous population doesn't want to do. And then the pattern has been the next generation, everybody moves up, but we still need somebody to fill in with the unskilled labor. Now it's turning out we have robots and machines that are doing a lot of the unskilled labor that immigrants used to do. However, there still is a need for this level. So it's absurd to try to ban or stop the very people we need to keep our economy going.
Also, the natural instinct of parents who come to the United States for legally or illegally is once they establish themselves here and have low paying jobs, it's practically the description of the American dream. I was a doctor in my country, but I will clean toilets and bathrooms, and I'm a janitor now. But my children will go to university and become businessmen and scholars and successful. There's nothing that should really prevent them from doing that. The bottom tier, as you say, keeps being emptied out. A lot of industry jobs, manufacturing jobs, where you could go to high school, you didn't have to go to college. And then when the mill opened up in the morning, the day after graduation, you could get your union card and go stand in the production line and assemble this on a car or pour steel or assemble toasters or whatever it was that you do. And you could make a decent living. And that's going away because immigrants are coming in and taking those jobs. So what's the solution?
But there is a solution that we are refusing to acknowledge. And that is, we need individuals that can fix air conditioning, HVAC systems. We need people that are electricians. We need people who know plumbing. There's lots of jobs where one doesn't need advanced degrees or PhDs. In fact, without electricians and plumbers, our society would collapse. And it's time we acknowledge those people. It's time that we acknowledge what we call trade schools, which I think is derogatory. I think that's a way of putting it down. Well, you're not sharp enough to go to a real college, to go to a community college and learn a trade. I think we have to drop that elitism completely and stop the elitism. I think we have to elevate our plumbers and electricians to the same level as my oncologist and rheumatologist. Different specialties, different skills. Not put people down and not think any less of someone. And I think therein lies our problem, Joe, is this elitist idea of college education, of becoming a doctor or a lawyer, and then anyone else is less than that. And I've even come into that with being a rabbi. People look down on me in the Jewish community. Why didn't I become a lawyer or a doctor? Why did I settle for being just a rabbi? And then, because I was a chaplain with the VA for 40 years and didn't have a big, huge congregation, I dropped down even lower in the prestige scale. Why can't we acknowledge that In order to function, we need individuals with all kinds of skills, and the skills are just different.
Well, not to bring up the tawdry subject of coin, but isn't all this success and rating associated with income? And doctors make so much more money, lawyers make so much more money, so they're perceived as successful so much more than people who put in an honest day's work, as my grandfather used to say.
You're absolutely right, but that's artificial. There's no reason why certain professions should be making money off the charts. We have to look at each other and begin to say, we're all in this together, Joe. We need all different people. And certainly there can be different incomes for the amount of education, for the amount of study time. There certainly should be a ladder, but it doesn't have to be off the charts or ridiculously absurd, or the spaces on the economic ladder don't have to be huge. We can agree and look at each other as a society. All of this is needed. And I know a lot of electricians and plumbers that are more intelligent some of the doctors I've seen.
Well, I know someone who's more intelligent than anybody else I've seen, and that's you, Rabbi. Thank you as always. Your wisdom is what keeps me going, even when there's a leaky pipe around to deal with.
And I want everyone to know that my degree is in Hebrew Semitic languages. And I haven't read an Ugaritic text, and I don't remember how, but I was trained to read it.